Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are enjoying the festive season. We are just a couple of days off from Christmas at the moment. I am very excited. So I thought that to celebrate the end of the year, as I have done in previous years, I would show you guys my top 10 makeup picks for the year. It's a little bit different this year because, as you may know, I haven't purchased any new makeup products this year. So everything that I have to show you I've had for at least a year. It was purchased either in 2018 or even before that. So nothing new here. They'll all be products that you've seen me use or talk about in the past, but I think that that's a really good thing to show that you don't constantly have to be buying new makeup, especially if you do have quite a large collection. It's always good to rediscover old favorites and keep using up what you have. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and please do subscribe if you are new to my channel. I upload a new video at least once a week. And let's go ahead and get started with a foundation. So this foundation is actually almost gone. I'm struggling to get product out of it now. It is from Lancome, but it's not the tinted doll that you will have heard lots of other YouTubers talking about. This one is the Matte Miracle 24-Hour Foundation. I have mine in the shade 001. It says designed for Asian skin. I think that just means that it's a very fair color, which suits me perfectly because my skin is very fair. This is actually not the one that I'm wearing today because we are right in the middle of summer here in New Zealand, and I do have a little bit of a tan going on. So I'm currently using my foundation that is slightly darker than this one, but this one works for me 3/4 of the year. Although this is a matte foundation, it's not a flat matte, and it's a very lightweight foundation, so it still allows your skin to breathe and to show through a little bit, so it's quite natural looking, and I really like that. I dislike heavy foundations and ones that look cakey. It's just not a good look. So anything with light coverage I find myself drawn to, and especially this one just makes my skin look really beautiful without actually looking like I've got foundation on. Next up we have a drugstore product. I do have a bit of a mix of high-end and drugstore in today's video. I didn't plan it this way. I wasn't trying to do like half and half. It's just so happened that some of my favorites are high-end and some of them are drugstore. So my absolute favorite concealer that I've ever tried, which is now the one and only concealer that I own, is the Master Conceal by Maybelline. The packaging of mine is actually broken. It's got a little hole in the tube just below where it's meant to come out, so I'd actually really like to pick up a new one of these, but it really doesn't affect the product at all. When I squeeze the tube it comes out a little bit lower, so I just take it from there instead and it works exactly the same. I really love this. I particularly use it under the eyes, but if I do get the occasional blemish I can use it on that as well. It's just the perfect color for my skin tone. It blends in absolutely seamlessly. The formula of it as well is just right for my skin type. It doesn't look dry or cakey under the eyes, and it doesn't really crease either. Every single other concealer that I've tried under my eyes has always creased, and always within a few seconds, but this one I still always set it, so it might do after a few minutes, but it doesn't as long as I have set it properly. And I do get dry skin sometimes, so concealers can look dry under my eyes, but this one doesn't tend to do that either. Jumping to eye makeup, I do have one eyeshadow palette to share with you today. So this palette I've had for quite a while actually. Jonathan gave this to me for Christmas 3 years ago, so I've had it for quite a while, but it is the YSL Couture Variation palette in number 1 Nude. This is, as the name suggests, just a nude palette. It does have a brush in there as well, but the colours are all very subtle, very, very wearable, and I just find this absolutely the perfect palette for me. I do occasionally like to go for colour on the eyes, but for the most part I'm reaching for very wearable day-to-day nude colours. And especially if you want to go for a brighter lipstick as I have today, then you really want to tone back what you're doing on the eyes. And even though it is just a nude palette, there is still quite a lot of colour options in there. There are 7 shimmery shades that you can use all over the lids. As I said, quite muted, subtle colours, but they are all different and they're all absolutely stunning. There's a matte bone shade, which I always use to set my eyeshadow primer before I go in with the colours. And then there's a warm brown, which I use as a transition shade, and a deeper cool toned brown, which I actually use for my brows. And I've actually hit pan on that one as well. And these shadows just perform absolutely seamlessly. They blend so easily together. I have had absolutely no issues with any of them. I have used all of them quite a lot. As you can see, I have hit pan on the brown shade that I use for my brows, but I also have a bit of a dip in pretty much all of these shades, especially the matte bone shade. That one's got quite a sizable dip, which I doubt you'll be able to see. but it is there because I use that one every single time I do my makeup. Absolutely stunning palette, very versatile. If you did want to do a slightly deeper look, you could also use that brown shade on the end to deepen it up a little bit. I have definitely used it on my eyes in the past. It's the perfect shade for my brows, so that's what I tend to use it for. This next product is actually one of the newest things in my collection, so I have had this for about a year now. I remember buying this in December last year and giving it to myself as like a Christmas present, so pretty much exactly a year that I've had this one. It is the Makeup Revolution Renaissance Glow Duo. So in here we have the bronzer and the highlighter. I love this because the bronzer is quite a cool tone bronzer. It's not super warm and orangey, so for someone with really fair skin like myself, it works really well as a bronzer and almost as a contour as well. So I do kind of put this one like just on my cheekbones and then up around the edges of my face as well, and I do really like the shade of it on myself. And then the highlighter as well I really love. I am wearing both of these today. I'm not sure how well you can see from such a distance, but the highlighter is a nice pale gold shade. Again, not too dark for somebody like myself. Sometimes if it's a bit of a deeper shade, it doesn't really work for people with quite fair skin, but this one, because it is quite a light gold shade, it does work really well. And I find that it doesn't have too much pigment to it either. It kind of just attracts the light more than anything else, so I don't think it looks terribly gold on my face, but it looks a little bit shiny, almost a little bit wet, and I really love the formula of it. I love how it looks, and I love how the colour suits me. I also love the packaging. It's almost a little bit similar to NARS, where it's that matte black packaging, but it feels almost a little bit velvety to the touch. And the compact does come with a nice big mirror. I think this is super travel friendly, especially having the two products both in the one compact. So perhaps if you are looking for a last minute gift for somebody, or even just something for yourself, this might be something to keep an eye out for. Speaking of highlighters, I do actually have two more to mention. So firstly, this is a product that I've had for a really long time. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette, but I'm not talking about the whole palette. I'm talking about in particular one of the shades, and that is Incandescent Light, which is the middle one in this palette, but you can buy it on its own as well. These powders are meant to be used as more of a light dusting over the whole face when you finish your makeup, but I really like using Incandescent Light as a highlighter. I just use a smaller like eyeshadow brush and get quite a lot of the product on my brush, and then yeah, just use it as a highlighter. It's a nice pinky shade, so if I want to go with more of a cool toned look, then this is one that I will tend to reach for quite a lot. And I think if you do use a little bit more product, put it on a more dense brush, then it does show up just as well as a highlighter. It's not super subtle, but it's also not sparkly or shimmery in any way. It's not quite matte. It's got just a tiny bit of life to it. If you are not a fan of shimmer or glitter or sparkles of any type, then this is definitely one to check out because it has none of that. It's just absolutely beautiful, but I would definitely say get the single because I barely use the other two shades that are in here, and I think I've had this for over 3 years. 3.5, 4 years, a long time, and I don't really touch the other two shades. And the other highlighter that I want to show you today is from Jouer. It's in the shade Citrine. This is the intense highlighter, so if you are looking for something really bam, then this is the one. This is a gold shade. This is perfect for the festive season. I've been wearing this a lot recently. Anytime that I do really want my highlighter to pop, this is the one that I reach for. So although I've shown you 3 highlighters today, they all have very different purposes in my collection. The formula of this one is much more powdery. You do have to be quite careful when you're dipping your brush in not to kind of send it flying everywhere. Just go in with a very light touch, especially because a little bit goes a very long way. So it looks like I've barely touched it, but that's because you need so little product each time you use it. I got this one for my birthday last year, so I've had it for about a year and a half, and I've loved it the entire time that I've had it, and I still find anytime I want a bit more of a glow to my makeup, something a bit more statement, this is what I will reach for. It's not actually sparkly, there is no glitter in here at all, but it's certainly got a bit of a shine, a bit of a reflect to it. And now we are on to my favorite category, which is lipsticks. And I do have quite a few to show you. I'm going to start with this big group here because these all actually count as one product. It's just that I have a lot of colors in this formula. So this is the Clinique Matte Pop lipstick formula. This is my favorite formula of lipstick. I think I've had these in every yearly favorites video for the last 3 years. So I think I did buy these about 3 years ago, maybe a little more than 3 years ago. And the fact that they've been in every end of year favorites video since then shows how much I love them and how they stand the test of time. And I still haven't found a formula that I prefer more than these ones. I have these in 5 colours. I have 01 Blushing Pop, which is a very nude, slightly pink colour. 02 Icon Pop, which is a deeper red. Love this one for this time of year. 03 Ruby Pop, which is an orangey red. This is the one that I'm wearing today. I again love this one for this time of year because we have Christmas and summer here in New Zealand, so a slightly brighter red is what I tend to reach for at this time of year. 05 Graffiti Pop, which is a reddy pink, and 07 Pow Pop, which is a deep purple. Every other deep purple that I've tried from other brands has always been patchy. I know it's a very difficult lipstick shade to get right, but this one is absolutely beautiful, glides on so easily, no streaks, no patchiness. So if you are looking for a deep purple or another shade that's quite tricky to get right, then I would recommend this line. The formula is all the same across the shades, but my 2 favorite shades are the Blushing Pop and Ruby Pop. Day to day I go for a nude if I'm going to work or pretty much anywhere else. Blushing Pop is one of my most used lipsticks, and then Ruby Pop, obviously the one that I'm wearing today, is pretty much my go-to red. I don't wear red that often, but if I am going to go for a brighter colour, this is usually the one I will go for, and even over pinks, over purples, over pretty much any other shade, if it's not going to be nude, it's probably going to be this one. I'm sure you've heard me rave about the formula of these before. They are matte, which means they stay on your lips really well, but they don't feel drying. They feel really comfortable to wear, and even when you rub your lips together, there is a little bit of give. You can actually still rub your lips. They look amazing on the lips. They never streak or patch or anything. They're just absolutely beautiful. And I also love the packaging as well. They've got the nice shiny silver top, and then the bottom half of the packaging is matte and it's in the same color as the lipstick that is inside. So I think that is just a really nice touch. Although that is my absolute favorite formula of lipsticks, I do still have some others that I want to share with you, specifically because the rest of them are not matte. I went through a phase, it was quite a long phase actually, it was about 2 years long, where I wanted matte everything, and I do still like my matte everything, but I now also like to use things that aren't matte a lot of the time. So another purchase from late last year, this is from Lancome again. This is the L'Absolu Gloss Cream in 3H2. I believe I also mentioned this last year in my favorites for 2018. This gloss is absolutely beautiful. This is the first gloss that I found that actually doesn't emphasize the lines on my lips. I don't know why glosses always do that for me, but this one doesn't. The shade of this I also really like. It's a really beautiful shade, especially for spring and summer, which is usually the time that you would wear gloss. But the formula of this is absolutely amazing. It's completely smooth on your lips. It feels like glass, and I always say that, and then I think you probably have no idea what that means, but you can't feel any texture at all when you have it on and you rub your lips together. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like completely smooth glass. It also smells quite nice. Not that that really matters to me that much in a product. I also like the fact that you can build it up or leave it quite sheer. You can kind of just wipe off the applicator a little bit when you take it out and then just apply a really sheer coat, or you can not wipe it off and use everything that's on the applicator and you get the color that's in the tube. So it's really up to you. You do have quite a lot of control over that, so I just really love this product. And then going back to Clinique, which they just get it right so much of the time, this is the Clinique Chubby Stick, which is a moisturizing lip color balm. I have mine in the shade 05 Chunky Cherry, which in the bullet looks like it would be a bit bright for what I would wear day to day, but because it's more of a balm, it's a very moisturizing sheer product. It actually is basically the color of my lips, and it doesn't add a lot of color. It's just really nourishing and feels beautiful on the lips while giving them a bit of a shine. So as you can see, I really don't have a lot of this left. I included this product in products I've hit pan on this year because I've got so little left. This is my everyday color. I wear this to work pretty much every single day, and I have done the whole year. And this is another one that I picked up towards the end of last year, so I really haven't had it for all that long, but I have been using it a lot more than anything else in my makeup collection. So I think that says a lot, and also the fact that I would repurchase this in a heartbeat when it's gone, because I just feel like it's that necessity in my makeup collection that I always reach for. The formula of this, obviously, like I said, it is like a balm. It's really nice that it's not like a gloss, in that if your hair kind of touches your lips, it's not going to get stuck, because it's definitely not a gloss formula. It doesn't have that sticky element to it. So just the formula is really nice. It is going to come off throughout the day because it's not matte, obviously, but for an everyday product that's really super easy to reapply, I think that it's amazing. And then the very last product that I want to talk about today is actually one of my oldest makeup pieces in my collection. This is the Clarins Rouge Eclat lipstick in Wood Rose, and I think I've had this for about 4 years now, maybe even a little bit longer. Look at the packaging though, it's absolutely stunning. So this is one of the first makeup products that I purchased when I really started getting into makeup, and back when I started my channel. And I really had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what I was looking for. So I'm really impressed that I still have this and I still really love it. But honestly, to this day, I think this is one of the best makeup purchases I have made. It was a little bit pricey. It was $49, I believe, which is pretty much the same as the Clinique lipsticks that I showed you. So about right for a high-end lipstick, but to me at the time it was a lot of money. The color of it is muted red shade. It's a few shades darker than my actual lips, so while it's not a nude on me, it's still very wearable. The formula of it though is really something special. It's a creamy lipstick, which again doesn't emphasize lines on my lips, which I find really hard to come by. I find that people always say that creamy lipsticks are better for not showing lines, and then matte lipsticks emphasize lines, but I find it to be the other way around. Matte lipsticks for me usually cover up any lines that I have, and then creamy lipsticks tend to emphasize it, but this one doesn't. I know I said the same thing about the Lancome gloss, but honestly, these are two of very few non-matte lip products that I found that don't emphasize lines on my lips. This one as a lipstick obviously lasts a little bit longer than a gloss. It's not going to come off quite as easily, but it is still going to come off gradually throughout the day. But again, because it is quite a muted neutral color, it's not too obvious when it comes off. It doesn't go patchy, it just comes off cleanly, and then I'm able to either leave it for the day, which is generally what I do, or reapply. I just think it's a really lovely formula, really beautiful color as well, and one that I have consistently worn, although not all the time. I have consistently been wearing it for the last 3 or 4 or however many years it's been. And that, guys, brings me to the end of my top 10 makeup recommendations for 2019. I hope you did enjoy this video. I wasn't planning on doing one this year just because there was nothing new to show you and it's all repeats from previous years. But I did have a request to do this video and I thought, you know, why not? It's always good to show that you're still using old products and not just constantly buying new things. So hopefully it was useful for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye!